Yo, good morning, Bobcats. Welcome to the Sus Podcast, 9 a.m. on a Wednesday. Today we have Ian on. Great guy. He's an apartment locator. Ian, I want you to introduce yourself. Tell the people a little bit about you,
What's going on, guys? I'm Ian, finance student, portfolio manager, real estate extraordinaire, semi-professional race car driver, photographer, drone photographer. I do it all. So
Yeah, so for starting off, where are you from?
I grew up in Austin.
In Austin? Okay. What was it like growing up in Austin?
It was growing up, man.
Just,
From the burbs, not a lot going on. It was enjoyable.
Okay, cool. And what are you doing now?
Right now, I'm a junior here at Texas State, McCoy College of Business, finance student, an officer in FMA, and I am a real estate agent. I work in town. I do a lot of leasing. I work with investors sometimes, just trying to make it as an agent out here.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like you do a lot. Let's hone in. I want to hear a little bit more about that real estate stuff. So, how did you get your license first? Or first off, explain like what you do in real estate, because like there's all kinds of stuff, right?
Okay. So, the main thing I would say right now is my apartment locating, which essentially you're like a realtor for apartments. You have someone who's looking for an apartment, and essentially you also work with all the apartment managers and those kind of people on the back end.
Right.
And when somebody comes in, they say, hey, I want XYZ apartment. You go, okay, hey, I have this apartment right here. This would be perfect for you. And then you just kind of connect the two, and then they pay a commission based off that. And it's free to the client, which is my favorite thing about it.
Oh, sick. Okay, so you're like literally selling a free service.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
Cool.
It's hard to say no to.
Yeah.
It's an easy sell. And I'm not a great salesman, so it's a great spot to be in.
And how long have you been doing it for?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2. Okay.
Yeah.
What's been like the hardest part about it when you first started and now? So like when you first started.
When I first started, it was like getting to know the market because I just moved here. I didn't really know a lot.
How long did it take to like memorize like the streets, the locations,
You would be wondering about that, wouldn't you,
Aaron? Yeah, I actually tried to jump into this.
Yeah, it takes a while, but when there's like maps all over the office about like what's where, and eventually
I see.
down. You look at it all day, so.
Yeah, when I was like working, so I also did an internship in real estate, but it's like private equity commercial real estate, so it was a little different. But there wasn't a lot of like the excels of like locations didn't they weren't exactly helpful,
Right.
Was that like the case with you? Like, did they give you some stuff that like actually helped, or a lot of the stuff that they give you just
No, it did help. They broke it up into zones, like what apartments are in what areas, because they try to like keep them in certain places around town. So yeah, eventually when you get to know the zone, you're like, oh, this and this apartment's on this street off of this. It's about like this far from campus,
Okay, I would think that like the hardest thing is meeting people. Is that like the hardest thing now, or
The hardest thing now is definitely like getting and managing clients.
Okay. What does that look like?
It's a lot of word of mouth, advertising on campus, Facebook, trying to get more into like the Instagram side of things, social media. So yeah, a lot of different avenues. Also, we get leads whenever we post a property on MLS, on Zillow. We get inquiries, and we get a good bit of leads from there too.
Okay, MLS being
the multiple listing service.
Okay,
that
pretty self-explanatory.
Essentially, when you get a listing, if you're a member of the board of realtors, you're required to put it on the MLS unless your seller specifically says you can't.
So to do this, you need a real estate license.
You need to be a real estate agent, and then you also have to be a realtor.
Oh wait, you have to be a realtor too.
Well, to post on the MLS, yeah. I'm not. I'm what's called a non-realtor member because I don't do a lot of houses.
Okay.
and I don't do the listings myself, so I don't
So
really
you're
need to be a
using
member.
MLS illegally?
No,
Ooh.
I'm having my broker post it for me, and then
Okay.
whenever we get leads, he just sends them to me. So technically, it's not illegal. I'm just like funneling my listings to my broker.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I
essentially like
see.
giving my listings to my broker, and then he posts them, and then he just lets me do the leads.
Well, it's okay. So what's like the commission that you get per apartment? So like you meet a student, they convert. Like run me through that whole process.
So it depends on the apartment, what they're paying.
Mm-hmm.
So every apartment does a little bit differently.
Yeah.
What I like to say, it kind of depends on how desperate they are.
Mm-hmm.
I would say most apartments pay anywhere from 50 to 100%. Those are traditional apartments, though. The thing about student apartments is they like to pay a flat rate. It's usually like $500 per apartment.
I mean, that doesn't sound bad, right? Like 50% of what's like a cheap apartment, like $600, like 300.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that like the
Usually
cheapest?
student apartments are like 6 to 700 for like a decent one.
Okay.
Anywhere below that, it's like might not be the best apartment. Anything above
It's
that,
not
it's
even
like
worth
you might
renting
be
out.
overpaying, unless you're getting some crazy amenities. But yeah, every now and then I hear some people paying some like crazy prices, and I'm like, man,
That's pretty
you
crazy.
should have come to me.
Yeah. So each student who you help out or who you find an apartment for, you get 500 to.
Well, the thing is, you also have a split with your broker on those commissions.
Mhm.
So, you can get anywhere, usually like the lowest I've seen is 50-50, and the highest I've seen is like probably 70-30. So I get, in that range. So like between 50 to 70.
Percent. Okay.
It
Yeah.
depends on the apartment. Right now, I'm at like 60% for apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I'll be able to get to 70 pretty soon because I've been doing all of my brokers on campus marketing. So, and I've
Okay.
been with
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
for a
You
while.
should
So
definitely be
you
charging
can negotiate
for that.
that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but generally, yeah, it's in that range essentially of what you actually get. So I get like 60% of that number. Of
Okay.
that
Cool.
500 or of whatever the gross commission works out to.
So you're selling a free service, and every time you get a customer, you get a few $100s.
At least, yeah.
Wow. That's great. Does that like funnel or fund any of your interests, hobbies?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, since I'm in college and my parents are, helping me pay for a lot of the basic expenses, I just kind of get to like mess around with that money, which is fun. I
Nice. Yeah.
bought a convertible,
Do you have
nice camera, drone.
Oh
And the cool
wow.
thing is if I use stuff for real estate, it's also like you're in a position where you can use that to like write it off on your taxes too. So that's fun.
Oh yeah, of course. A drone's a real estate expense. What? We took
Well,
photos with this.
Technically, I can't.
This is not financial advice,
This
by
is-
the way,
yeah,
guys.
don't
Do not
don't-
do not write off.
Don't dig too deep into
Yeah,
this. Do not
yeah.
audit me. Yeah, a lot of interesting things that you can put money into, but I would advise people, if you are making a good amount of money in college, invest it.
Okay, yeah.
You
The
get
finance
the compound
major over here
returns.
is telling you to invest. Okay.
Well, I do. I think I've invested just as much, if not more, than what I've spent on like dumb stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. And you don't have any student loans, do you? Right?
No.
No. Okay.
That's why I
so,
came to Texas State, baby.
Yeah. So how do you manage like school and being a real estate agent?
Well, the great thing
Or
about
apartment
apartment
locator.
locating is that it's busiest when school is out, and it's not very busy when school's in. So
Oh, so it's like a
pretty cool.
seasonal
It's very
thing.
seasonal. Yeah, the summers
Uh-huh.
are really busy, but like right now is like pretty. I wouldn't say dead, but like it's not moving very fast.
Okay.
Usually after spring break, it's gonna start.
All right, so if you guys are, here for the summer, you should
Yeah.
maybe think about doing this. It's a pretty lucrative.
Yeah, yeah. You do have to
Opportunity.
get your license and find a broker, but realistically, you can do that in like 2 months if you really like put your head down and grind. It
Yeah.
took me like 6 because I'm lazy, but we might get into that later.
Yeah. When I first met Ian, actually, he was telling me about this. I was like, oh my God, what? This sounds like free money, right? Like you're selling a free service to someone. As soon as they accept your free service of helping them find the best home that they can find, you get a few $100s. I was like, oh, easy. Let me do this. Let me get my real estate license. And it's really not that hard. I just haven't taken the test yet.
Yeah, bro, you
But
got to get on it. Come work with me and Lucas at
right,
Hotspots.
dude. Hopefully soon. But yeah, that's some cool stuff.
Yeah.
What else do you do? Photography too, right?
Yes, I've been doing photography for a couple years. Yeah, I mainly been doing automotive because I'm a car enthusiast, and I also do portraits because it's pretty decent money too.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, gonna be getting into some senior pictures soon, depending on how things go.
Well, okay. Well, it sounds like you're really entrepreneurial. What makes you choose that kind of stuff over like a traditional like 9 to 5, getting a job?
Well, I would say mostly just because of school. It's like my schedule is pretty crazy. So I really like things where I can make a good amount of money on my own time. Just like whenever I get off of class, I can just call up a couple leads,
Mm-hmm.
try to message some people, post ads, just kind of on my own time. So
Yeah,
I
cool.
would say that's the number one thing that made me want to explore non-traditional jobs.
What do you think about like entrepreneurship?
I love it. Being able
You
to
love
like
it?
control your own
Uh-huh.
own time, your own income. Like that's the most fun part about it. It's like you get to determine how much you make this year. It's not like, oh, I hope I can get this bonus or I hope I can get this raise and dependent on somebody else. It's like you know exactly what your output's going to be for what your input is.
Right. Yeah. So you did an internship in high school, right?
I
And
did,
that's how
yeah.
that's how you got into the field.
Yep.
Tell me a
Yeah,
little about
I
that.
did. So essentially, I got connected through somebody my mom knew to a guy that works in commercial real estate. He's been one of my mentors, and I worked for him my senior year of high school. My school had this program where like it was like double blocked, so every other day you would just after lunch you'd go to work instead of taking 2 classes after lunch. So I did that every day for a
Oh,
year.
say that again. So like you would do this during lunch?
After lunch, so the way it was set up, you had 2 classes before lunch and 2 classes after.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, you had this internship and it was double blocked for the last 2 periods.
Okay.
And like after lunch, you would just go to work instead of going back to class at whatever internship you got.
Oh, I see. So you got like class credit for working at this
Yeah,
internship.
yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was sweet.
And it was real estate, you said?
Yeah, it was commercial real estate.
Mhm.
It was a boutique commercial real estate firm in Austin called Vertique Property Group.
Oh, and get
Yeah,
the cup.
and
Shocked you haven't lost that.
no, I can't lose this. It's too nice of a Yeti to lose. And yeah, I worked there. I did some like pretty menial stuff. I like set up their marketing. I did a lot of Excel work, contact lists. I built out a couple real estate decks, and I did some very introductory level like site selection. I don't know if you got into that in the private equity world.
Not
of,
so
like,
much.
development.
More like going to the sites, but
Yeah.
not selecting anything. You wouldn't trust me with that.
I didn't actually select anything. They were just like go through this list of properties and run it through our database and just kind of build out all the reports for each one.
Yeah.
And then I would just send them to my boss.
That actually is something that I did during my internship. I messed a lot with like demographic reports.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What was that program called? It's like ArcGIS or something.
I didn't use that one. I used this one called CoStar. But
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I used that one too.
yeah.
But we had this like in-house one that was really cool called Educated Analytics that was like specifically for their focus was childcare real estate, and they built out this software that was specifically built to like do site selection for childcare properties.
Isn't it crazy how much like data like makes it efficient, or just how efficient data makes site selection or like finding a location, finding a property?
It's so insane.
Or
Actually,
anything,
the reason
really.
my boss at that brokerage, he left actually because their software side grew so big that they didn't do nearly as much brokerage, and he was like, I'm not a software guy. I'm a real estate guy. I ended up leaving.
No
And
way.
my other boss there, Carter, now is basically running a software company instead of a real estate company.
Oh wow, what a change.
Yeah, it was a switch up. I need to have him come talk at the real estate cohort. He's a really interesting guy.
Yeah, sounds like it. From real estate to software.
Yeah, essentially there was this software program built on top of this existing real estate thing. This the ArcGIS system I was talking about, and it was tailored to site selection for childcare properties. So it would have like the average daycare price in the area. It would have all your competitors listed there. Essentially, had a bunch of people in a call center just like calling these childcare um, areas, like every single one in the U.S., like all day, and they had this script, and they would just put stuff into this huge Excel file.
Mm-hmm.
I did it for like a day just because they gave me the script and a bunch of phone numbers. It was kind of fun. I
Okay.
got to pretend I was like middle-aged dad with like a kid. I think it was like 2 and 5, like asking about like
What?
people's childcare rates.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and then I got to
It's
see
been
like
an experience.
what all that data was for in the end. So yeah, it was cool.
Have you thought about using data for your own apartment locating?
Yeah, I built out a spreadsheet of like the properties in town.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to do better with the CRM. I need to get one just so I can remember to like follow up with people or have it follow up with people
The
for me.
CRM.
It's a customer relationship manager
Oh,
or
okay. Yeah,
client
yeah.
relationship
Mm-hmm.
manager, I guess, for real
Same
estate.
thing.
Same difference, but yeah, one of those would be very useful. I need to do that more just because it's when people they move so much in this town that like you need to be top of mind when people think about moving.
Oh, so like following up, there's a huge market in that.
Yeah, that's real estate. You just follow up,
That's
follow
pretty much
up,
the whole
follow up.
market.
Yeah, pretty much. I try to send like an email at the start of every year, and then I try to send out text like when it probably I'll do it when it gets closer to spring break when like leasing season really picks up.
Ah,
Be like, hey guys, remember me? I know all your leases are about to be up because I leased you for a year about a year ago.
that's pretty funny. That's smart though.
So
How
yeah,
do you
that's
deal
the game.
with competition? If like
Um,
everybody's doing the same thing as you, it
and
it sounds like easy money, and so because it sounds like easy money, there's no way it can be easy money. Like it has to be saturated. It has
so
to.
actually in town there used to be a bunch of apartment locating brokerage,
Mm-hmm.
different brokerages and a bunch of different agents, but apparently during COVID it kind of got like wiped out. And
Oh
now it's
wow.
really just my brokerage and I think maybe one or two other ones.
Okay,
There's
so
not a lot of
there's
people doing it right now. It's
so there's
actually
like a hot
really
market right now.
it's a I would say it's a good spot to be in cuz right now during COVID we got really overbuilt with everything cuz the interest rates were really low and all these
Mm-hmm.
developers were like I can see that San Marcos is going to be like the next hotspot when Austin like gets big.
Uh
And so
huh.
they built all these apartment complexes and then all these tech companies kind of moved their headquarters out of Austin and
Ooh,
now the
yikes. Yeah,
the
it's not looking
eventually
so good for
eventually
San
it
Marcos
will
anymore.
at some point it will be people moving into them, but right now they're kind of empty
Mm-hmm.
and those ones pay as much as like 200% commission.
Okay. Do you think that there's more like apartments that are gonna be built around here, or do you think it's
There's
more of a
definitely
like
been
we'll
a
wait and
building
see?
slowdown. um we'll see what happens. I've been talking to some people from city council. Hopefully they're trying to build more student apartments because right now they built a bunch of traditional apartments and we don't really have a market for a lot of traditional apartments down here because we have
Traditional.
we have a lot of students and we have a lot of like families, like people who really would prefer houses.
What's like the big difference between traditional and student housing?
So traditional, you lease the whole apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say it's like a one bed, one bath apartment. It's like you rent the whole apartment, you get the whole apartment to yourself. Usually they go for like for a one bed at least. They go for around like 1,000 to like 13, 1,400.
Okay.
And then for a student apartment, the apartment will be bigger. Let's say it's a 4-4 or a 3-3. and then you just get 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom out of that. You just have like your own little spot inside a bigger apartment.
Mm-hmm.
That's the student apartment model, basically.
Oh, okay.
So you
So
have
it's
your
like
own
renting
lease.
per bedroom.
Yeah, renting by the bedroom, and then if somebody leaves, you don't have to pay more in rent. It's a lot cheaper for students, and I would say those usually go between 600 and 700
Oh,
for like
okay.
an
Cool.
average one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Are the traditionals like usually more like luxurious and
oh
stuff
yeah,
like that?
yeah. I mean, there's some really nice student properties out there that put a lot into amenities, but they're going to be the bigger student complexes, obviously, because they have more money.
Are those the ones that you try to work with, or is the target market really more like the niche?
It depends on what people want. Most of them work with us. I would just say usually my market is the properties that don't advertise themselves well, because essentially they're giving their ad budget to us instead of hiring a marketing person
Right.
to do that for them. So some bigger complexes who spend a lot of money on ads choose not to work with us.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the smaller ones are like, we don't want to spend money. We want like guaranteed leases. So that's why they choose to work with us. It's like whenever I bring them a lease, they pay. It's not like, oh, we're spending all this money on marketing, but there's 10 other complexes spending way more than us, so we don't get any leases.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so just taking their marketing budget basically.
Basically, yeah, like we're their marketing team essentially, and we only get paid when we lease people. So it works out for us and it works out for them. And it's a win-win situation. It's actually a win-win-win because like I make money, the apartments get leases, and then the clients get hopefully the best apartment for them. I try my best to like read the reviews of these places before I like recommend them, because I don't want people coming back and being like, you leased me like a horrible apartment. It's like full of rats and I hated it. I was like, oh, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. It sounds like a win-win double win, because whenever you rent somebody out, you get their roommate too, right? You get commission on that.
Yeah. So essentially when people come to me, sometimes they have roommates, sometimes they don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice when people do, because I know some properties, like the one I live at right now, if I lease like a full 4-bed, 4-bath, I get 100%. Whereas if I only lease one spot, I only get 65. So sometimes there's actually like bonuses for when I bring like a bunch of people who have roommates.
Cool. And like there's so much potential income increase. Like because as soon as you don't have to split 50% of your profits with your broker, like, you know, that goes through the roof. How long do you have to be an agent before you can be a broker?
So you have to have your sales agent license for 4 years before you can apply
Your sales agent
your
license?
broker's license. Yeah. So
Oh, real estate agent license.
it's called
okay.
technically under TREC. It's like called your real estate sales agent license, and then there's like a real estate broker license, I think. But to be a broker,
Gotcha.
you have to have like a certain number of education hours and 4 years of experience in real estate, and like certain boxes you have to check as far as leases you've done or sales that you have.
Oh, I see. Okay. So
So
as soon as
I
you
got
get
another
out, you
2
get to the
years.
top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
So you're in college, you start at the
essentially.
bottom. You're out of college, you're at the top. Dude, that's
Yeah,
great.
by the time I get out of college, hopefully I'll be able to apply to my broker's license by the time. Yeah, like as soon as I get out of college, basically, I can start working on that.
Dude, well that's like so cool. Like I think that what you're doing is probably one of the most hidden opportunities in San Marcos right now. So I'm really happy that you could come on and like talk about it. It's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
thanks for coming on.
Of course, yeah, not a lot of people know about it. And then the biggest thing, honestly, with this business is education, like knowing that it exists. So when you're looking for an apartment, you know, like, hey, this is free. I can just ask this guy and he'll give me a list. You know, it's that simple.
And all you have to do is get your customer to like to sign your name on the lease, right?
Yeah, they put my name on the application, and then sometimes I'll go and their apartment will also require you to like send them a guest card with their information. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Then you just send them an invoice.
All right, well, cool. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we go, I want to talk about the news real quick. You know, get into that. So some cool stuff we have going on this week. Tomorrow, Thursday, 2:30 p.m., we have this thing called the Bobcat Bazaar. President Kelly Danfus is coming out. Okay, it's going to be a fun time. We have student businesses coming out They're going to be trying to sell stuff on the quad. You can talk to them, get to know them. It's hosted by CIE, Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. So if you're trying to get in contact with us, if you want any resources, stop by, hang out, chat, talk. It's going to be a fun time. It's over at right outside of LBJ at the LBJ Mall. So yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Today's been a great episode. We learned a lot about apartment locating. Thanks for coming on, Ian.
Yeah, appreciate it. Before y'all leave, y'all can find me on Instagram at, I think it's just Ian McLarty. And then, yeah, I'm sure y'all can put my, I can give you guys my link tree or whatever.
Oh yeah,
no.
You right? definitely get a plug for this. Yeah, you can find his Instagram or maybe his LinkedIn.
It'll be
something.
In the description.
Yeah.
If you're watching this on YouTube.
In the description. All right. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll see you next time tomorrow or next week, Wednesday, 9 a.m. See y'all there.